I live by the principle that not everything has to be complicated. You know that old saying that goes, if you can't explain it to a 6-year-old, then you probably don't understand it yourself. My name is Jackie Wahome, aka the Doodling lawyer, and I'm the founder of Think Illustrate. I come from a legal background, and my job before I started Think Illustrate was to go out to the citizens and teach them about the Constitution, what the Constitution says about, for example, governance and accountability. And we would carry brochures that have a summary of the information for citizens to go and read later. But then that information was still in, legalese, English. And one time someone asked me, why are you bringing us these papers? We'll just use them to washaji because hatusomi kizungu mingi. I've always been drawn to visuals. I've always been drawn to cartoons. So I just started drawing and doodling, and that is how Think Illustrate was born, to make technical and complex information more easy and fun for people to understand. I wanted to do things differently. I wanted room to experiment, room to be creative, and to tell a story in my voice. So I had a passion to make sure that legal information in particular, because of my background, is easily accessible, because when you have the knowledge, then you have the power to make your own decisions. You have the power to fight for your rights. So that was really my motivation. I like simplicity, and I don't believe knowledge has to be complicated. I had a short-term employment contract where I really felt unease, because as much as the position on paper matched my skills, my experiences, qua ground, that wasn't really what I wanted to be doing with the rest of my life. And I'm like, Jackie, you have to make a decision. So I talked to my mom and I was like, Mom, is it irresponsible of me to leave a monthly paycheck and jump into the unknown, go into the deep end? And after telling me all the nice things that mothers say about how brilliant I am and how, I'm amazing and I can do anything, she reminded me that, remember what you're made of. And you started this company from scratch, and you started it for a reason. And that reason, has it changed? No, it hasn't changed. Is it still relevant? Yes, it's still relevant. Then jump. You're going to be okay. That's when I left employment, and I was like, this feels so much better. When I started Think Illustrate, I started approaching my old contacts from the NGO world where I was working before, and I pitched graphic recording, which is a way to visually summarize a meeting. So as the meeting is happening, there's somebody in the corner drawing the conversation, so that instead of having a 10-page report at the end of the meeting, which nobody will ever read, then you have a visual summary of the whole conversation.
When children are speaking to you, they know a lot of things. And sometimes you say, oh, I don't know, there's a sense where you unpack the things that you're listening to and the things people.
What sets Think Illustrate apart is that, well, as the doodling lawyer, I bring more than just the drawing to the table. Think of it as githeri. Githeri is a wonderful meal to have. And what makes it so wonderful is the mixture of stuff. You've got beans, you've got maize, you've got hoho, kitungu, nyanya, dania, and some spices. Now, we imagine just eating maize alone. No. So I will call myself githeri. And that's a good thing. Think Illustrate is set apart from the rest of the industry because of those really many unique ingredients that create something that brings a new whole out of the many separate ingredients. My logo had several components. The first was a brain, because we are thinking. The second was a light bulb, because light shows illumination, understanding, and then a T because of Think Illustrate. So I brought those together. As you can see, this was my first logo. The light bulb is here, the T is there, and then there's a little brain. But then I started feeling like this wasn't really in line with the brand, because the brand is more about hand-drawn doodles. And the original logo did not look hand-drawn. So that's why I came up with a new logo, which still has the brain, still has the light bulb, and I added a little pencil, but now everything was hand-drawn on that logo. Self-doubt comes a lot. Just do things that bring me calm and peace and joy. For example, I love going for walks through nature. I love baking, trying new recipes, and yeah, also just taking a ride on my bike. There's something that just chapatuna upepo, the wind blowing through your helmet. It does something to the psyche, and I can't explain it, but it grounds me. It brings me back to, okay, let's go and do this. I have graphic recording to thank for getting into biking, because I once went and did a freebie for an organization where one of the funders attended that meeting. I was like, oh my gosh, we want this. So that turned out to be my first client. And they gave me such a fat check, money I have never seen before in my life. And I immediately went and bought a bike with it. Then after that, I was broke for 4 months because I didn't have clients. So from that, I learned actually the power of pacing yourself, because as a self-employed person or as a contractor, money doesn't come monthly. It's not like employment. So you have to know that, okay, so I don't know when my next gig will come, so I have to pace this money, at least make sure I have enough for bills. You keep hitting walls, roadblocks, or you're almost this close to signing with a client, then they go in another direction. And so the imposter syndrome came back. I'm not an artist. What am I selling? There are other people out there who can draw better than me. So what is this? Don't focus on the things that are not going well. Think of the things that are going well. So let's say client wants X and what you're offering is Y. That doesn't say like there's anything wrong with either side. It just means that you're not a good fit at the time. The same way I wouldn't buy a shoe size 7 and be like, oh my gosh, this shoe has rejected me. It's just that I went for the wrong size of shoe. I'm starting to have that different outlook, focusing on what value do I actually bring, and what do I want Think Illustrate to stand for? What do I want Think Illustrate to be known for? I choose the kinds of project I want to work on, and I'm doing something that I feel is actually utilizing the whole of me, not just this one tiny aspect of my CV, but who I am as a whole. The feedback I always get from clients, like, oh my God, Jackie, this makes so much sense. Or our participants loved it, or our partners loved it. And I wish, like, I'm so glad that there's a simple way to explain this complex thing we've been trying to explain. So when I see that my mission is being accomplished, which is to make information accessible to as many people as possible so that they have the power to choose what to do with that info. If you're a NASA scientist teaching about astrophysics, or a doctor explaining a procedure to the patient who's about to go through that procedure, you need to break it down to a level that they can understand. And that is why at Think Illustrate, our motto is knowledge simplified, because the realm of knowledge that exists out there, it is entirely possible to explain it to a child in a way that they will understand. It is possible to explain it to my grandmother who doesn't speak English in a way that she will understand. And it's possible to explain to my mother who comes from a completely different generation in a way that she will understand. So what I try to do is make it mainstream to teach about complex things in a fun, engaging, and simple way.